Do you guys remember the company called FastView, which I made multiple videos about? It's a government-funded Korean startup that's now at the center of a major controversy. Why? Because HYBE has already sued them for allegedly running anti-HYBE YouTube channels that spread false and harmful content about artists like ILLIT and LESSERAFIM. And now the person behind the creation of such content might be in serious trouble. Because there's a new article written about the case. So in this video, I'm gonna read you some of the articles, and at the end of the video, I will read you an interview piece about the person, either the person who created all these harmful smear campaign-like contents against HYBE artists, or the person who was in that position. Because as it turns out, the person who's now in trouble has already left the company, FastView. So let me tell you all about it. So it starts here. There's an article written by Sports Today journalist on May 22nd that goes something like, exclusive, former FastView employee indicted for defaming HYBE artist. Oh, but before I read this, let me briefly summarize about this company by playing you this short YouTube short that I made at the time. 2 months ago. Was it 2 months ago when I made these videos? FastView's attacks on HYBE, ILLIT, LESSERAFIM. Who are they really? And also, FastView ran anti-HYBE channels, now playing the victim. Okay? And I made this short in their own style as like a parody or stuff.
Attack with taxpayer money? This is crazy. 33 billion in annual revenue, 12.5 billion in investments. Even got government funding as a baby unicorn startup. But what do they actually do? YouTube smear campaigns, ILLIT plagiarism and LSF controversies? Just random rumors from online communities, repackaged into shorts. Clickbait titles, misleading content, uploaded repeatedly to farm views and ad revenue. But do you know what the real problem is? This wasn't just some individual YouTuber running these channels. This was a government-funded company. HYBE tracked down cyber record channels. And these channels were run by a company named FastView. And FastView's response? We didn't mean to defame anyone. But here's the kicker. This isn't even their first time. FastView already got sued before for spreading false information about Hyundai. At this point, it's not a mistake, it's a business model. Running a clickbait factory on YouTube, getting caught, then playing innocent. But the real horror? They did all this while receiving government subsidies to grow as a startup. So are they a baby unicorn, or the empire of smear campaigns? Is this what Korea calls an innovative startup? What do you think? I made this short video in FastView's fashion. But yeah, this just isn't my thing.
So that was a very quick recap. Alright. So let me read this article for you. A former employee of the content startup FastView, accused of creating and distributing defamatory videos targeting HYBE artists, has been referred to prosecutors with the recommendation for indictment. According to sources in the industry and law enforcement on the 22nd, the Suseol police station in Seoul recently referred the case to the prosecution, applying charges of defamation and insult under the Information and Communications Network Act. Police determined that the allegations against FastView are credible and substantial. And because the journalist Yoon Hae-young says that according to sources in the industry and law enforcement, it seems like this has been fact-checked. Alright, previously, HYBE filed a criminal complaint against FastView, claiming that a number of videos uploaded to YouTube channels Peoplebox and Taishu, operated by the company, were based on false information and damaged the reputation of the company and its artists. Some of the videos reportedly claimed that an ILLIT member mentioned a specific food to insult a NewJeans member, that is, kalguksu, that HYBE and its artists were linked to a particular religious group, that is, Downworld, both of which are completely baseless. HYBE regarded these videos as part of a deliberate reverse viral campaign, also known as HYBE, designed to slander certain artists or companies, and requested a police investigation. In addition to the criminal case, FastView is also facing a civil lawsuit. In August last year, HYBE, along with its sub-labels Belief Lab and Source Music, filed a damage suit against 7 YouTube channels, including those run by FastView. The following month, in September, HYBE also filed a subpoena requesting with the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California to identify the individuals operating the channels. And I've talked about this before on my channel, right? The person under investigation was reportedly a team leader level employee at FastView and has since left the company. Now that the charges against this individual have been substantiated, attention is turning to how far the investigation might expand. Key questions remain. Did the individual act independently, or were they following company orders? If it was the latter, who within the company directed the creation of videos that targeted specific artists and why? And I think those questions are very critical, as suggested by the journalist. FastView, founded in 2015, is a content production and distribution startup that operates multiple YouTube channels and online platforms, including Peoplebox, Taishu, DFast, Siguang, New Autopost, Kmedia, and they have tons more. Now, the most significant update is that a former team leader from this company, FastView, has been formally referred to the prosecution with an indictment recommendation. And that's pretty big because that means police found sufficient evidence to pursue criminal charges under Korea's Information and Communications Network Act, specifically for defamation and insult. And this case is no longer just a civil dispute or corporate PR issue. It's now in the realm of criminal liability. So if the prosecution proceeds, it could result in criminal penalties for individuals involved and potentially expose the company to deeper scrutiny. And especially because it was a government-funded company, right, known as a baby unicorn. It got the support from the South Korean government. And the implication is that this raises the stakes not just for the individual, but for FastView as an organization, especially if it is proven that the individual acted on company orders. But I thought it was super interesting that the person has already left the company. Was it because of their own choice, or was it against their will? So I wonder about that as soon as I read this article. Now, it's ironic because a couple months ago, FastView made this statement in this article called "FastView Faces Lawsuit Over Defamation of HYBE Artists Amid Government Support," written by Chosun Biz, and I also talked about this one in one of my videos. And in natural translation, what did it say? The article first describes what kinds of content that they made, right? Why such artist is connected to cult downworld, such, why they suddenly became unlikable, endless plagiarism accusation against such songs, such caught up in a Japanese imperialist symbolism controversy. And then, in the article, in response to the allegations, a FastView representative stated, the channels in question simply create and share short-form content summarizing social issues and discussions with online communities. There was no intention to attack or defame HYBE artists, so we are quite shocked by the situation. They further stated at the time, we have fully cooperated with the investigation and will release an official statement once the results are out. I don't think they have made any official statement yet, other than this. Additionally, FastView expressed its intention to take legal action over what it calls false allegations and character defamation. Not only has our company been dragged into this issue, but even our former CEO is being falsely accused. We plan to pursue legal action against those spreading misinformation. But as it turns out, the police determined that the allegations against FastView are very credible and substantial. Thus, they formally refer the case to prosecutors with the recommendation for indictment. So these statements that they made at the time turned out to be quite, ironical. All right, now there was another article written on the same day, today, May 22nd, by Women's Economy newspaper, titled Signs of a Coordinated Smear Campaign. FastView official referred to prosecutors over anti-HYBE videos. A lot of the contents written by the journalist Kim Jong-soo are pretty similar, but they added some interesting questions and perspectives. Okay, so let me quickly read this for you as well. A representative from the content startup FastView has been referred to prosecutors with a recommendation for indictment after being accused of producing and distributing dozens of defamatory videos targeting artists under HYBE last year, with suspicions growing that these videos may have been commissioned by a third party. Rather than simply created for profit, authorities are now investigating whether this was part of a deliberate and organized attack. So that was a perspective that wasn't explicitly mentioned in this article, that previous article that I just read, right? According to industry and law enforcement sources on the 22nd, Susa Police Station in Seoul recently referred the case to prosecutors, applying charges of defamation and insult under the Information and Communications Network Act. That was the same. Police have determined that criminal suspicion against FastView is substantial. And then this part is the same how HYBE had previously filed a complaint against FastView. An ILLIT member mentioning a specific food for to subtly insult a Nugent's member. Yeah, these are the kinds of videos that were included. These are the videos that FastView created with such claims as, ILLIT member mentioning a specific food, that is kalguksu, to subtly insult a Nugent's member, allegations that HYBE and its artists were tied to a specific religious group. HYBE interpreted this content as part of a targeted reverse viral campaign aimed at damaging the reputations of specific artists and companies, and formally requested a police investigation. That was the same, so I'm going to skip this part. Now, this is an interesting perspective. Most of the anti-HYBE videos produced by FastView were short-form content like these, But the article says, a format that generates relatively low advertising revenue. This has led analysts to doubt the claim that the videos were made purely for profit. Given the low financial return, some are suggesting that these videos may have been commissioned by a third party, raising the possibility of a covered for hire defamation campaign. Meaning some party might have requested the creations and the distribution of such contents as smear campaigns against HYBE artists. If FastView, the article says, was paid to produce videos based on falsehoods, it could be considered a serious criminal offense. Now, the question is, who ordered the videos, if there was anyone? With reports indicating that the former team leader, now under investigation, has acknowledged the charges, attention is now turning to how far the investigation might expand. Given the scale and consistency of the content produced, it is unlikely the individual acted alone. If these videos were made under company orders, further investigation is needed to determine who within FastView gave the directives and why they targeted specific artists in such an organized manner. Now, the article ends with this extra information about the company. FastView was founded in 2015 as a content production and distribution startup, and currently operates multiple YouTube channels and media platforms, including Peoplebox, Daishu, DFest, blah, blah, blah. The company has raised a total of 12.5 billion Korean won, which is approximately $9.1 million US, in funding from firms including Fine Asset Management, Partners Investment, DSC Investment, Spark Labs Ventures. Additionally, KB Capital holds 500 million Korean won worth of shares in the company. FastView was also selected for the Infant Unicorn or Baby Unicorn program by Korea's Ministry of SMEs and Startups, which provides support to high potential startups, which is why I named this YouTube short as K-pop idols attacked with taxpayer money. According to the company, FastView recorded 330 billion Korean won in revenue in 2024, marking its best year since its founding. Public filings show the company posted 166 billion Korean won in revenue in 2023, meaning its annual sales nearly doubled in just 1 year. And that's super interesting, right? Because in 2024, which is the year that many of HYBE artist fans and HYBE shareholders will remember, they did extra well financially, right? And even though the article said, according to public filing, the company has publicly bragged about it through PRs, media PRs, how they are AI content specialists who has made, how much was it? 300, no, sorry, not, let me correct that. It wasn't 330 billion, it was 330억. So 33 billion Korean won in 2024. Okay? Marking its best year. Whereas in 2023, they made like half, about 16 billion Korean won in revenues in 2023. And interestingly, the year before, 2023, they were in negative territory, minus 55.4 billion won in terms of operating profit. So they were losing money. But the next year, magically, they are in the positive territory with 1.5 billion won as operating profit. So, what happened to the company that all of a sudden helped them make all these extra revenues by, I don't know, doubling the amount within a year? So that was interesting, and as a result, they were named as one of the fastest growing companies in Asia Pacific in 2025. Right now, so the type of information that this article added to this one, by the way, the previous article was released at 2:29 p.m., whereas this follow-up article by a different journalist from a different media company was released at around 4 p.m., right? So, prosecutor referral is now confirmed. The article explicitly states that the police have formally referred a FastView official to the prosecution with an indictment recommendation, which means that the investigative phase is complete and the case is now in the hands of the prosecutors for a potential indictment and trial. In the previous article, this level of procedural progress was not confirmed. It was still in the broader under investigation phase, right? Now, this article raises the possibility that FastView may not have created the videos purely for ad revenue due to the low profitability of short-form content. Instead, it suggests that the content may have been commissioned by a third party, which, if true, would escalate the case into one of contracted defamation, which is a far more serious and coordinated offense, and this could be one of the biggest scandals in the K-pop industry in the past years. And this, the so-called commissioned smear campaign suspicion, was not mentioned directly in the earlier article. And while both articles mentioned that a former FastView employee is under investigation, this one emphasizes that the suspect was a team leader, not a junior employee. Actually, this article said it as well, right? But it also raised questions about company-wide involvement or direction, right? So that was interesting. What else? And also, last but not least, they also added this detail where how FastView reportedly made 33 billion Korean won in revenue in 2024, double from the year before, right? So now, before we wrap up, let me read you. So here's a summary of what I just said. Right? Legal status, suspect role. It was a former team leader. They were a former team leader. Motive, intent, legal timeline, revenue figures. That's incorrect. 33 billion Korean won, and implication. Now, let me read you an interview piece with someone known as the video team leader. Okay? And you can find this on FastView's official blog. But I blurred the name because we don't know whether this person is it. The interview was from 2021. But interestingly, within their interview, there's this photo. And if you look closely, the thumbnail or what's the channel art is that of PeopleBox. Although currently PeopleBox channel art looks like this, is a stronger purple, but it used to look like this, much lighter purple, which is what you see in this photo, right? So this person, this female employee, we're not sure whether she's still at the company or not, used to operate this channel. But once again, we're not sure whether this person is what these two articles refer to. But I think it might be pretty cool to read this interview to glimpse into this company's work environment and work culture. Okay? All right. Please introduce yourself briefly. Hi, I'm video team leader at FastView. I'm known as the team's passion powerhouse, and my motto is nothing is impossible. On our video team, I oversee planning, filming, editing, and managing various types of video content for both FastView and our clients. They said. We also manage and operate multiple YouTube channels. So the bottom line is, from the get-go, we know that they don't simply create contents for themselves. They sometimes create contents for their clients. What did you do before joining FastView? I majored in video production in college and have always worked in video-related fields. My first job was at a well-known music academy that produced several popular artists. There, I edited performance and audition videos. Later, I joined an MCN company and worked on a wide range of content, from ads and variety-style videos to music videos and vlogs. I've always loved working with video. So I also did a lot of freelance gigs on the side, filming for first birthday parties, weddings, of course, golf course videos, short films, and even music cover videos. These experiences eventually helped me work as a full-time video freelancer. What led you to join FastView? At the time, YouTube was booming, and I saw a job post from FastView looking to expand its video production team. I have always loved trying new things, so the company seemed like a great fit for my personality. Plus, it was clear FastView was growing steadily, and the benefits were appealing. During my second interview, this person, I'm not going to name again, the interviewer introduced me to the dozens of in-house channels FastView was running and shared their vision for the future. I felt an instant spark. I remember thinking, this is the kind of place where I could finally make all the kinds of videos I have dreamed of without having to work weekend gigs anymore. Now that dream has become a reality. Every day is busy, but I'm having so much fun working here. Tell us about the work your team handles and what skills are essential. Our video team focuses primarily on producing YouTube content for our own channels and commerce-related videos. We also handle production requests from external partners. Right now, we have 10 producers on our team. Since we follow a one-person PD system, every member is capable of handling everything from planning and shooting to directing and editing. While each PD manages their own assigned channel, we also rotate roles depending on each person's specialty. As team leader, I handle overall coordination and also help out directly on important shoots or planning sessions. YouTube is all about fast production and a real-time response to trending topics, so agility is key. For example, if breaking news affects a video's topic and we need to shoot additional scenes, you need to be quick to adapt and film new content on the spot. You also need to be proactive, able to come up with ideas, plan out the content yourself, and see it through. And since much of our content is based on soft topics, strong communication with editors on the content team is a must. So I'll say the 3 essential skills here there are communication, planning ability, and quick thinking. I think I'm gonna skip this part. This part? How about this part? Yeah, and I've already translated. What are your goals or missions at FastView? First, I want to launch new channels that hit 300k subscribers with 2 million average views per video. We already have a few videos over 300 million views, but the channels themselves still need more stability. I'm putting all my energy into building that momentum. FastView specializes in soft content, and we have highly skilled editors with a sharp eye for trending issues, so I think we have everything we need to hit those numbers soon. Second, I'd like to take on more external video projects so we can create a wider range of content. I'd love to produce commercials in our own creative style and even try our hand at web dramas. Someday, I'd like to see our team grow into 2 divisions, one focused entirely on in-house channels and another on video production services. What's the best part of working at FastView? In my previous jobs, even if I created amazing content that went viral, I never received any recognition or reward for it. But FastView has a clear incentive system. If your content performs well, or the channel shows growth, or the quality stands out, you are rewarded accordingly. Thanks to those bonuses, there was even a time when I almost didn't qualify for a rent loan because my income had spiked so much. I was just doing what I love, making videos, but the fact that the company also rewards that hard work, I'm really grateful for it, and it pushes me to keep getting better. And last but not least, complete the sentence. FastView is something to me. FastView is today to me. For me, FastView represents the thing I'm most focused on right now. Some people use their job as a stepping stone toward future happiness, but for me, working at FastView is happiness in itself, right here, right now. And with that joy, I want to continue creating video content that truly has the power to make the world a better place. Now, isn't that ironic? So, I want to point out 3 things. First of all, when they said we want to make more external video contracts, right? Because this opens the door to the third-party commission theory. Because she's explicitly saying that we want clients to pay us to make videos beyond our own channels. And if these external requests included, like, I don't know, politically or commercially motivated orders, it supports the idea that some of the anti-HYBE videos may have been contracted reverse viral or yuckbiter, right? And that turns this from a reckless content farm into potentially paid media manipulation. And when they said FastView has a monthly incentive system based on content performance. And this is a direct admission that monetary rewards are tied to views, engagement, and quality metrics, which often reward sensational, emotionally charged, or polarizing content, right? And if FastView incentivized viral growth with no guardrails on content ethics, so to say, then team members could be indirectly encouraged to publish borderline or even outright defamatory material like these, especially if it consistently performed well. And this also shifts some responsibility back to corporate leadership for structuring incentives in a way that may have fueled legal risk. And when she said, FastView, like my happiness is working here, and I want to create video content that truly has the power to make the world a better place. On the surface, this is a very warm and emotional statement, but when we view this in light of the allegations that are happening right now, coordinated defamation campaigns potentially, and lawsuits and smear tactics, it becomes deeply ironic. The idea of making the world a better place through video directly contradicts the kind of content allegedly created under her leadership, or someone in her position. So once again, we don't know whether this specific person whose interview that I just read about is the one that the police referred to prosecutor for indictment. But it shows us the kind of company culture that exists. So if her team did contribute to targeting HYBE artists with manipulated or malicious videos, then this statement either reflects a disconnect between intent and impact, or just deliberate corporate self-branding that masks harmful practices. But once again, this interview was from 2021, March. So God knows what happened since then. So again, look, we don't know for sure if this person is an indicted individual, but again, what this interview does show us is the internal logic behind FastView's content machines. Grow fast, take external work, reward engagement, and don't ask too many questions. And in that system, it's not surprising that ethics got left behind, because when you treat like a defamation as a growth hack, so to say, you're not just breaking laws, you're breaking the very idea of what responsible media should be. But even worse, if it turns out that the company has received money from a third party for creating these videos attacking HYBE artists, LESSERAFIM and ILLIT, then the situation becomes much more serious, right? So the key questions indeed remain, as suggested by these articles, that did the individual act independently, or were they following company orders? And if it was the latter, who within the company directed the creation of videos that targeted specific artists, and why? And also, if these videos were made under company orders, further investigation is needed to determine who within FastView gave the directives and why they targeted specific artists in such an organized manner, right? So I know a lot of people will make all sorts of comments speculating different things. It's okay to speculate, it's your freedom, but nothing's confirmed yet. So let's try to control our own behaviors and our own comments. I know which names that will be exactly dropped in the comment section, but for now, I'm gonna stay away from speculation in this particular video that you're watching. So, but we'll have to see. And once again, it's super interesting that the person already has left the company. Was it their own decision, or was it against their will? We'll have to see. All right, and what kinds of decisions will be made by the authority regarding this matter. All right, so leave your thoughts in the comment section, and as always, let's try to stay positive, respectful, and classy. Peace and love. Bye-bye.